recording. Hi everyone. Welcome to Precarious Pixels. I'm Tim. With me as always is...
Hi, I'm Bob.
And we are here to talk about all the things that's been happening in the world this week. Mainly games, movies, TV shows, whatever stuff catches our fancy in pop culture. So, big news this week. Sony dropped a bunch of stuff on us. Not all good.
Yeah, a lot of it was good. Some of it wasn't so good. I mean, it was nice to finally hear the date on the PS5.
Right.
It was silly to do the date that they picked. It comes out 2 days after the Xbox Series X and a day before Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Obviously, you don't understand their master plans because they're geniuses that run that company.
They must be. They're so genius, in fact, that their first-party titles are worth $10 more than most other first-party titles. I think Microsoft isn't charging $70. I know Nintendo's
Well, that's crazy.
But
how will they afford to do anything?
To be honest, I don't know what Microsoft's launch lineup is.
True.
So I don't know if there's anything first-party that they own coming out at launch.
No Halo?
No, Halo's been pushed to next year.
Oh, wow.
I think it's just going to be third-party pushing them.
Okay.
And a lot of that third-party stuff is stuff that was probably originally designed for this gen and not next gen.
Right.
Although in a month and a half, that will be current gen.
Right.
As crazy as that is.
Which seems like it doesn't seem like that long ago that they had another previous. The consoles are coming out faster and faster. It seems strange.
It sounds it, but it's actually been 7 years.
Really?
They came out. This is how crazy my memory is with stupid stuff. They came out November 15th of 2013 was the PlayStation 4, and November 22nd was the Xbox One. So last time, the Xbox came out a week later.
Wow.
This time, it's coming out 2 days earlier. At the same price.
So weird.
Last time, I believe Sony made a very big point at the fact that they didn't need to charge $500 for a system. This time they did.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we're going to make some money.
I think the smartest play Xbox could make right now would be to say, we don't need to charge, because they haven't said what their games are going to cost yet. The smartest thing they could do would be to say, but it might hurt them, we don't need to charge another $10 for our games. However, 2 studios already have started charging $60 or $70 instead of $60.
Okay.
And they're big ones. 2K, NBA 2K is a $70 game next gen, and Call of Duty is a $70 game next gen.
Okay. Which it seems so crazy that games are now $70. It's I don't know.
I would be fine with a $70 game with no microtransactions and all of the content included in the game.
Yeah, but that's not something you're ever going to get again.
The 2 of the worst offenders. I can't say the 2 worst, but 2 of the worst offenders.
Yeah, exactly.
Are 2K Games and Take-Two Interactive as a whole and Activision in terms of extra monetization.
Yeah.
The only thing that would be, in my opinion, just as bad would be if EA did it. And EA's not.
Which is strange because they like their money too.
EA's not even forcing you to rebuy the games next gen.
Which is good. 2K
upgrades if you buy only the $100 Mamba Forever Edition. So they literally used a Legend's death.
Yeah.
And the monetization of that to push an extra $40 on a game to begin with.
Which is crazy.
And it goes... You get that next-gen version if you pay that extra $40. So there's a lot of reason to do that.
Right.
However, it's not so nice. I get it. I get that they do that every year, but it just happened to be that they were like, Kobe's on the cover this year, and that's the only way you get it. But Also, Call of Duty is charging $10 extra to get. I need to say this in a way that's not going to be awful.
Right.
Bear with me. You can buy Call of Duty on PS5 or Xbox Series X for $70. You can buy Call of Duty on Xbox One or PS4 with an upgrade to next gen digitally for $70. Bear with me.
Okay.
You can buy that physically for $80. Here's where it gets fun. The game comes out a day after next-gen consoles, so why would you ever buy it on last-gen?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're just buying it with the intent of getting a console later.
Right.
But by the time you get a console, the new Call of Duty might be out, and I guarantee you that no matter what, that Call of Duty game will go on sale for next-gen. Maybe not to $10,
right,
but maybe to $30 or $40. Yep.
Yeah, it's weird.
And the current gen will probably be on sale for even less than that.
Right.
So that's a thing.
That is a thing. And it's honestly, I'm not sure how that works as a business strategy. They have some...
It works because you're forced to buy it.
Yeah.
There's like 8 games at launch for these consoles. There's always like that.
Yeah, but it also it seems like such a slap in the face to your fans. But then I'm like, maybe that they just don't care anymore. That they're just like, we want your money. We know this will make money this way. I have no idea. I'm sure there's like an accountant with like an algorithm that has figured this out that knows.
Even if they lose a sixth of their sales, they've made the exact same amount of money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way they look at it.
Yeah, and chances are they're not going to.
No, and even if they lose a sixth of their sales this year, next year they're still making that $10 more. You see what I'm saying? Like, no matter what. And these are the same guys. Like, 2K Games, Take-Two Interactive as a whole, are re-releasing. Now, just so this is really fun. It is, when are we recording this? What's the date? It is the 17th. This Saturday, the 19th, will be the 7-year anniversary of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Really?
A game that came out on PS3 and 360, 2 months before next-gen consoles of Xbox One and PS4.
Okay.
And is coming out on PS5. Why? They're actually remaking this game again.
With like anything added, like multiplayer levels.
Multiplayer's already there. Like they're constantly adding to it because it makes them $1 billion a year in DLC. Like it's not paid content. It's literally funny money in the game that they're making this money on.
Right. You're paying for whatever,
an outfit, a gun, money for in the game to buy a car that you can use in a heist to make money in the game.
Right.
It's crazy.
Which seems crazy to me, but then again, people do it, and even like if you've seen like something like Ready Player One, that's what people do. They pay people to like get them stuff that they want in the game, and that's not anything new. World of Warcraft has been doing it forever. I can't even imagine what other games are doing it now, but people are just, that's their whole, like, sometimes that's their whole job, where they were, like, World of Warcraft, that was, like, their biggest thing, was, like, people, like, they're, like, these mining farms, where people just play the game all day, and, like, just to accumulate items and wealth, and then sell it to people over here. It's insane.
Yeah. But, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to continue. So I don't think it's going to hurt them to go to $70. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Unless I trusted it. If it was somebody that I could trust doing it. Like, who's a good example? Other Sony first party, I'd be perfectly fine with. Santa Monica, great example. They're making a new God of War.
Right.
Right? That was another thing that went out yesterday. Ragnarok might be the name. Who knows?
Yeah, or it could just be like, hey, it's going to be about Ragnarok, and it's going to have a Kratos yelling boy all the time.
It will. Maybe he'll be yelling young adult.
That's true. This could be like he could come back and it's like he's an angsty teenager.
Do gods age normally?
No, that's true. Maybe it's like a baby Yoda situation.
Maybe.
Where he's like 50 years old but still looks like a baby. Wee baby.
But I trust that at $70 being a complete experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think they monetized that in any way outside. They had collector's editions that came with like a statue and like a different axe skin, but I don't think you could buy anything digitally for the game. The same is true for a game like Uncharted and Last of Us. So I trust Naughty Dog with it.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good with that stuff.
But I don't trust it with now Insomniac because I don't feel what they did with Spider-Man is right.
That is kind of a weird thing. That was another announcement they made. The Miles Morales edition, but calling it's the ultimate.
It's not the Miles Morales edition.
It's not. It's the Ultimate Spider-Man edition or whatever.
Well, no, there's two. There's two SKUs. So there's Spider-Man Miles Morales, which they've had now they've said 3 different things about what this game is.
Right.
If it's even a game.
Who knows?
Because they call it first it was its own game.
Right.
Then it's more an expansion in line with Infamous Second Son or First Light, sorry.
Yeah.
Which was a short version of Infamous Second Son with a not as big a world or anything like that.
Right.
And then there was a third version, which is the most recent, which is it's a single player adventure. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's $50 worth of that.
Yeah.
And the problem I have with that is that Infamous First Light was 20 or 30.
Yeah, I think it was not that much.
And I think it has to be 50 this gen because they're trying to warrant the 70 that the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition is. And from what I've read today, and this is just today,
right?
So this could change tomorrow. But as of right now, Spider-Man for PS4 will work on your PS5.
Okay.
With the disc in, it'll play.
Right.
If you get Spider-Man Miles Morales, you get the PS5 enhanced version of Spider-Man, and you get the Miles Morales expansion.
Right.
The PS5 version of Spider-Man comes with 3 extra costumes.
Ooh.
Which is crazy because every costume or every expansion they did for the original game came with, I think, more than 3, or maybe it was just 3, but it was extra costumes.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Because I remember, like, you can even see stuff in cutscenes online where he's walking around and people are playing in different costume versions of him.
There were tons of costumes in the base game.
Right.
I would have trusted this. All they needed to do was say, Spider-Man Miles Morales is $70, but it comes with the PS5 enhanced version of Spider-Man.
And you can watch Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
That would be great.
It plays all the music from Turn Off the Dark.
You could watch somebody have a horrible accident trying to... Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing some of those videos online. I was like, oh, man.
But no, they instead they have a Miles Morales expansion by itself for $50. So I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think one or the other would be fine.
Or just do DLC. Or
don't charge. The PS4 Spider-Man should upgrade for free. Yeah. It's literally the worst company out there, EA does it. I'm pretty sure that EA is run by 2 cartoon dragons fighting about who makes more money and why they should make even more than that. Right. It's that bad. But,
and then they pay each other bonuses nonstop.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, great job on your Ultimate Team Packs this year, my friend. Oh, good. You did even better. Oh, no, we put ads in UFC? Quick, save it. Put what's his name in the game and make a big deal out of it. Oh, my God, why am I blanking on his name right now? The guy who kneels.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh my God, the football player. Why am I blanking? From the Nike commercials. Kaepernick. Colin
okay.
Kaepernick.
Right.
So, here's what happened. This is a real... we didn't talk about this last week, did we?
I don't think so.
Okay, so UFC 4
Right.
puts commercials in their games. EA's like, uh-oh, people got real mad at us putting commercials in this game after reviews came out, but still within the first month of launch.
Okay.
Oof, that's pretty scuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how we can solve this? We can say that we cared about the political movement going on in America. You got that right, Other Dragon. So let's put Colin Kaepernick in the game. But
in
let's
UFC?
make it... No, in Madden.
Oh, in Madden.
In Madden, because they had pulled him out. They haven't had him in the game because he hasn't been on a team.
Right.
And we're going to say we stood with him all along. He was very important and like we appreciate what he does.
Yeah.
But let's not mention that for 2 years worth of Maddens, there were songs in the game that talked about Colin Kaepernick. But we removed his name from those songs.
Which is still, that's insane to me that they could do that.
And then let's claim that somebody messed up and thought that was because we didn't have him in the game, so we couldn't say his name.
Right.
Despite the fact that they have songs talking about all sorts of other people in the rap songs.
Right. They're always dirty. And they're only...
It couldn't be because of, what's his name, Goodell's 180 on the thought of kneeling.
No. It has...
So that's EA.
Yeah.
And they're making their upgrades free.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Like, they're worse. They're the worst company out there.
Yeah. Companies don't care. They only care about what will make them money. It's weird. It's like they think that you would think that they want to make everybody happy, but it's just like they only care as long as nobody calls them out on it.
It's true. And then, as far as backwards compatibility goes, I know we're talking about that. Today, Sony said that 99% of games work from PS4 to PS5.
But that was only at a certain date, right?
No. So,
oh,
it's even better.
Right.
They can't keep their story straight.
Okay.
First, they said anything that releases on PS4 from July onward
of this
will work
year
on PS5. Yeah, like 2 months ago.
Yes.
And everybody was like, oh, cool, it's smart that you left out Last of Us 2, because, that's a pretty big game, so why would anybody want to play that on a PS5?
Right.
Meaning that they just want to re-release it?
Yeah.
Because they did it last time with Last of Us Remastered.
Right.
But PS4 was not backwards compatible at all, unless you bought their PlayStation Now subscription.
It's just like more stuff that they just want more money. But it's like it's such a weird cycle that they're in. I'm waiting for the bubble to kind of burst.
Well, remasters, they're not going to burst anytime soon because Final Fantasy VII Remastered was huge. But that's a new game.
Yeah.
So there's remasters.
They added a lot of... Apparently they've added tons of stuff into it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not even the full game. It's like 20% of the game.
What do you mean, 20%?
Final Fantasy VII Remake is Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1.
Oh, okay. They're doing it that way.
Like, you don't even get to Red 13.
Oh, okay.
That's how... You played 7, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's been a long time. But I know what you're talking about, the big lion cat thing.
Yeah. You don't get him in this game yet.
Right. Because he's still, like, with Avalanche in, like, the... Yeah.
So it's going to be a bunch of games, and it's probably going to be till, like, PS6 before you see it finished.
Right.
However, that was huge for them.
Right.
But there's games that are other remasters that are constantly coming out, and some are remakes and some are remasters. A remaster of a game, say within a year, I'm willing to bet you right now, and I'm gonna say it on this podcast to record it. I'm willing to bet you that Last of Us 2 Remastered is released on PS5 by June of next year.
You think that soon?
Yes. Do you know why I think it was that soon, or will be that soon?
Why?
Because it was within a year from PS3 to PS4.
Okay. It's I don't know.
It's funny. I mean, it's whatever. You make it playable on there, and for PS5 Remastered, they will probably add in the multiplayer mode that they pulled out of the PS4 version. That they said they didn't do, but they pulled it out of there.
Of course.
Druckmann, that's his name. Neil Druckmann, right?
Neil Druckmann.
The Last of Us guy. I was trying to figure out his name earlier. And I called this, but we weren't recording at the time. I said forever ago that when they started, so over in June, I think it was June, Corey Barlog, I always want to call him Balrog.
Balrog?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking Street Fighter, but you're thinking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Either way.
And Neil Druckmann went around saying, oh, it's really expensive to make these big AAA titles, guys, for Sony, which meant that they were down the road going to be charging $70 for first party.
Yeah.
Which is what they're doing now. Because they own Blue Point, they're making Demon's Souls. The Spider-Man thing, the complete experience is $70.
And honestly, I don't know why they're saying it costs more money. The equipment to, let's say, make something is less. Like, it costs less.
No, it's because they spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on big voice casts and big action set pieces in the game. Like, it takes forever to design things.
Well, yeah. I mean, it takes forever to design things if you're making a big open-world game. But certain things, like, not everything is a big open-world game.
Most of the first party is, though.
Yeah.
Or open area, like Last of Us and Uncharted.
Right.
Massive. Spider-Man's big.
Yeah. But even Uncharted, you still only kind of, like, you go on a certain path. It's kind of like they guide you through that stuff.
They have levels that are much, much bigger.
Right.
Especially 4.
Right.
And 3. I think 3 had a big one, too. But Last of Us has a big area.
But not every level is like that, though.
No.
Right.
The same... But Spider-Man is huge. Like, that's all
over
the world.
That's like all of New York, right?
And then God of War... most of New York.
Oh, which parts of New York don't they give you?
Like Staten Island.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah. But the new one, Miles Morales, is Harlem. I don't think Harlem was in the first one. It might have been.
Okay.
Because it, like, cuts off. You can't go in certain areas.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. It's been 2 years.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like, I don't like that. Especially when you see that Xbox is essentially doing their first party for being paid for by their subscription. Because Game Pass, when you have Game Pass, anything first party on Xbox comes to you, you can just play it.
Okay.
And other, like, third party too. So right now, the big thing, this is going to blow your mind, because we just talked about something else that was announced earlier. Kingdom Hearts 1, 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and 3 are all part of Game Pass.
Right.
Meaning you don't have to buy them. As a matter of fact, you can't buy a physical disc of 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8 on Xbox. You can buy it digital.
Right.
Yakuza, 0, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2 are on Xbox.
Okay.
Like a Dragon, the new one, is marketed as Xbox. Think about that. Sega, now, I've not seen them market anything as Xbox in forever. Like, Nintendo, yes. Sony, Yakuza was huge. They own Atlas, so Persona's huge for them.
Oh yeah, that's a huge game.
But it's weird, man. But that's all on Game Pass. Like, you don't need to even just buy that game. So that money's going to those studios. They can afford it. Because it can't be... They're not getting $50 on that game. Like, Xbox isn't just handing them $50 because somebody downloaded and played Yakuza for 6 hours and didn't like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the question becomes, why can Sega afford it? And Square afford it? And Eidos afford it for Tomb Raider. But Sony can't afford it.
Yeah.
And 2K can't afford it to be $60. It doesn't make sense.
No,
because they're making less than $60 and whatever.
Yeah. So it's frustrating to see what they're doing. It's all just a weird money grab stuff, and then they'll say, we have to do that because it's a new makeup for like the system, all that stuff. Like, it's a brand new system. They want to charge more for the games, like right off the bat, because that makes them money back in. Because to develop a system, well, I don't know if this is the case anymore, but it used to cost a lot more. Like, you lost money when you first put out a system.
It's still the case. Apparently, they're losing on PS5 and Xbox Series X.
But I just, like, see...
And they're losing more on the all-digital and the Series S, the cheaper versions of these systems.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It still seems like... And I mean, can these systems run 8K graphics now?
Yes. At least the Series X can, I'm pretty sure.
Alright, well then, that means it's got a heavy-duty video card in there.
Yeah. I mean, the Series X is supposed to be a monster. The PS5 is no slouch.
Right.
But then there's the PS5 digital, which is slightly weaker, and then there's the Series S, which is a lot weaker. It's weaker than an Xbox One X.
Okay.
It's the point where they put out confusing articles, which I think might have been helped by another company, saying things like, you can't play Xbox One X games on a Series S.
Okay.
There's no such thing. There's games that are Xbox One X enhanced, which you aren't charged more for. They're essentially, you put the game in, and it'll download a patch if it knows you're on an X, and it'll put it in 4K, versus a Series S, which would be a smaller file.
Okay.
So you might not get the same 4K enhancements on a Series S that you do on an X, but you're still playing the same darn game.
Right.
Also, another funny thing happened, talking about upgrades.
Okay.
I could talk about this nonsense all day. Control.
Okay.
I think we talked about Control last time, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Control, third-person shooter from Remedy Software, the guys that made Max Payne 1 and 2.
Okay.
Alan Wake, Quantum Break.
Okay. And this is the one that's like, Control is about, like, you have mental powers.
Yes, you work for the Bureau of Control.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have sci-fi powers. And the newest expansion makes it part of the Alan Wake universe.
Oh, okay.
The Alan Wake expansion, or AWE.
Oh my god.
Which it's called. Yeah, it's... whatever. Anyway. So, 505 Games, who publish it,
right,
said that if you want the Series X or the PS5 upgrade for Control, we got you, bro. Just buy the Ultimate Edition of the game for $40. You get the enhancement for free. And then people said, but wait, what if we own the game and all the expansions, especially the one that just came out? And 505 Games said, there's no way we can work that. Like, that just wouldn't work. It would need to be this new game. It's impossible for us to fathom this.
Right.
And people said, wait, what? And 505 Games said, yeah, no, it needs to be a different version of the game, otherwise it won't work. You know us, we don't know how games work.
Right.
And then Ultimate Edition came out digitally. And if you owned the PS4 version of Control,
okay,
you could, last week, just click install on the Ultimate Edition, meaning you had a key to it. And people were like, oh, this is awesome, thanks guys. And 505 Games said, what? And people were like, yeah, you gave it to us anyway, you guys are so nice. And 505 Games said, no. And they removed that. And they removed that license for people who clicked install. And
wow,
the people who said it wasn't possible to do this, and we couldn't figure out how to do it, found a way to undo it pretty darn quick.
Yeah.
So maybe what they meant to say was, no, we want to charge you $40 for that upgrade.
Right.
And we're just going to mask it as something else. But we got you, fam.
So what was it, an accident that they had put that out?
It was an accident that they had allowed access to a thing they said wasn't possible to do.
Exactly.
But it turns out it must have been pretty easy. Now, do I think it was an accident, or do I think it was somebody that worked at Remedy Software?
Is that like a conspiracy?
That would be my conspiracy theory. Because imagine you're Remedy Software, and you've worked for Rockstar Games. I think Rockstar Games published the second Max Payne.
Okay.
I know they developed it.
Yeah, I think they worked on that.
And you've worked for Microsoft. And you've worked for whoever published Alan Wake, but I'm pretty sure that was Microsoft too. And then you go to 505 Games to publish your next game. And you're using that money from 505 Games to buy back the rights to Alan Wake. And you're like, man, these guys are kind of oppressive. Also, I don't like that we're looking bad because they're lying about a product that we make.
Right.
And you just press a bunch of buttons on a keyboard and magically you make something happen. Do I think that was something that could have happened? Yeah, I think somebody that was bad about it and didn't like being insulted, because I guarantee you people on Twitter are animals.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And on the internet in general, I guarantee you people were just going after them. So, maybe they were just like, hey, it's not us. Let's make these clowns look bad. And they sure do. They sure do look bad. So, yeah, but that's Control. That was the controversy. There we go. I'm going with it. I'm combining controversy and control, in case you can't wonder why I had a stroke.
Controversy?
Controversy?
Controversy? Controversy.
It's tough. That's a tough word.
But, so, to get back to the Sony stuff.
They announced the Final Fantasy 16.
They did?
It has long-haired characters and swords.
That's all you need.
And Chocobos looking more lean than normal.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you ride them?
Yeah, there's people riding them.
Okay.
It's the first clue, aside from the exact style of a Final Fantasy game in this Final Fantasy game.
Okay.
Like, it looks like a character from Final Fantasy. The first thing you see, you're like, oh, that's a Final Fantasy or a Square character.
Right.
And then they show a Chocobo, like, a few things later. You're like, that's a Chocobo that looks angrier. And then it shows, like, it takes a more mature tone throughout. And then at the end of it, they hit you with that Sony thing they like to do, PlayStation 5, or PlayStation console exclusive. I'm sorry, because there was some other news that came out today.
Right.
Their first party stuff, some of it that was PS5 only that everybody thought is coming to PS4 as well.
Okay.
So, like Miles Morales, he's going to be on 4. But yeah, they that's PlayStation 5 console exclusive, or PlayStation console exclusive. I can't make that mistake, because I don't know if it said 5. And then it said, at the bottom, with a little asterisk, also available on PC, because that's not a console.
Right.
Similar for another game that I forgot to mention earlier, but I'm mentioning it now, so it doesn't really matter. Deathloop apparently is now PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, okay.
Which I hate that it's PlayStation exclusive. And man, was that trailer like 4.5 minutes. And every time I see that game, I'm not going to lie, it somehow looks worse than it did the first time. The graphics. The game looks fun.
Right.
The graphics consistently look worse. It's almost like Ubisoft games before they come out to when they come out.
Right.
Like, so I guess Bethesda and Prey have taken, or Arcane Studios, the guys that make it, have sort of taken up that moniker. It looks more like Prey.
Oh, okay.
And Prey, while it was a fun game, the graphics aren't amazing.
Right.
This one, because of its style, also makes it look more like... I'm going to go with it. Time Splitters 2.
Oh, wow. That's a throwback.
It's a throwback, but the look of this, every time I see it, I think Time Splitters 2 mixed with We Happy Few.
Oh, wow, okay.
You see it, everything looks slim and cartoony, but then the gun looks... The gun, the way it's held, could not look more like it's held from Perfect Dark. And what I mean by that is, if you ever played Perfect Dark on Nintendo 64, the gun looks incredibly thin, because it would, but in almost every other modern first-person shooter, you'll notice that the gun is angled at such a way so that it doesn't look super small in your hands. On this game, for some reason, it looks super small and slim. It's like you're looking from right behind it.
Right.
But at a slight angle. So maybe like 11:30 if you're on watch.
Okay. That's a good way of putting it.
But yeah, it just looks off. And it's also been delayed to Q2. I feel like that was originally going to be a launch title.
But they probably were trying to rush it.
Yeah, I don't know how bad they're European. I don't know how bad they got hit with COVID. Because Arcane, it's one of the Arcane studios now, because there's two. I think they got split. Or bought another one, whatever.
Right.
But
so that's probably going to slow a lot of things down.
Yeah, and making it exclusive was a little gross. Also, the PlayStation has no advertisements for Yakuza, which I'm pretty sure is launch or close to launch.
Okay.
I think that might come out on Series X close to day one.
Okay.
Love to know. I should know the release dates of these major games that they keep showing off, but I feel like they don't show release dates.
Or I think it's just like they probably don't want to say just in case there's a delay or whatever.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
7 weeks, whatever. If they can't say it now, why are they even bothering advertising?
Exactly.
It's just like, Far Cry is the other Ubisoft. Far Cry is coming out in February.
A new
Ubisoft
Far Cry.
has, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ubisoft has 5 games in the next 6 months.
That's crazy.
It's, guess who the bad guy is in Far Cry? The bad guy from everything.
Bad guy? Is it,
Giancarlo Esposito.
Is it?
It's literally him.
Wow. That dude does everything. I think it's just like, they're like, we need the best bad guy ever. Get us the guy from The Mandalorian, The Boys, Breaking Bad, trying to think of other movies right now, but that dude, he's in everything.
He is, and
I'm sure he's going to be awesome.
He's 100% on the cover.
Wow.
And the rumor is...
It looks like him.
The rumor is that this kid that he's got in his hands,
mm-hmm.
people think that he might be Voss. Because it seems to be taking place in a South American or Central American country during a revolution.
Oh, okay.
And people are thinking that the character from 6 might be the bad guy from 5. 4.
Okay.
3? What was Far Cry Voss? 3.
I have no idea.
But he's got a scar, and that's what people are taking from it.
Mm.
Oh, cool, there's a gold edition steelbook. Don't worry. Ubisofts don't ever change.
They always do their steelbook ones.
Well, no, they have 3 versions of every game.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes 4. So they'll have a standard,
right,
deluxe, which means you'll get some extra outfits and weapon styles. Like a gun will look different,
right,
and your character will look different in your first-person Far Cry game. Thanks, Ubisoft. Then they'll have a gold edition,
right,
and that'll come with the season pass. But you know what it won't come with?
What?
The deluxe edition content. So it'll be 60, 70,
okay,
100, and 110. Because they have the Ultimate Edition. Is this blowing your mind right now?
I mean, I've seen it, so yeah. It doesn't blow my mind, but I'm just surprised that they keep doing that.
But guess what? If you buy Valhalla for $60 on
right.
Xbox One, or Watch Dogs Legion
mm-hmm.
for $60 on Xbox One, get it on the Series X for free. So they're still not as bad in my mind as 2K.
Okay.
Because they're not trying to claim that their game costs too much. It does, in a different way.
Right. Alright. But, so besides game news, you've been playing the Marvel's Avengers.
I finished it.
Finished it?
Or the main story.
Alright, so if you haven't finished it, a little bit of spoilers here. So the main bad guy turns out to be MODOK.
Correct. One of them.
And the reason that this is like all weird Marvel lore, but So the reason Captain America destroys the Terrigen crystal is because something underneath the carrier was coming out of the ocean. It was like something was like feeding on it, and turns out it is a Kree sentry, which is related to an actual thing that happened in the Avenger comics, which is like before the Kree Skrull War stuff that happened in the Avengers. There was like they found like an old robot that turns out to just kick the crap out of them. But in this, they kick the crap out of it.
A lot.
But MODOK controls it because it's like, he can control all technology stuff. So
Yeah, and plus he's got Terrigen powers.
he's got Terrigen powers.
And Super Soldier Serum?
Yeah, that was the other thing, that Captain America was being kept in a satellite space station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
He didn't die.
He did not.
Big spoilers. He didn't die.
Yeah, big spoilers. Avengers game yourselves.
Yeah. Oh, of course they're not gonna kill Captain America.
But no, in general, like, they said at launch that there were going to be 6 playable characters.
Of course.
And they said who those characters were.
Right.
And you don't play as him except for in the tutorial.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Of course not. They're like, oh, Cap's back. Everybody's back. We're all good.
But, I gotta say, they mostly control different.
Mm-hmm.
Captain America wall runs.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
But, I like playing all of them. The only thing I was disappointed with is the main story.
Mm-hmm.
You only play one mission as Thor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's okay.
And you can never go back and do those missions again. So if you miss stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they might patch that in. They're working on patch. It's not that hard to turn it back on. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
You patch it in 5 minutes. 505 games can accidentally make a whole game free.
Exactly.
But yeah, like I don't know. Like Thor was probably similar, in my opinion, to like a combination of Iron Man and Hulk. But Captain America is a blast. Every character that you get to play as in the story is fun to play. Actually, Black Widow, I think you only do one mission as well.
Well, okay, yeah, because you fight Taskmaster in like the first part, like all
That's
that
the
stuff.
tutorial still.
Right.
You mostly play as Miss Marvel and
Iron Man?
Hulk.
No. Okay.
Iron Man has like 2 missions or 3,
Okay.
but mostly Miss Marvel and Hulk.
Okay.
Certain missions you can. Side missions, I should say. You can choose who you play as, but for the most part, the game chooses for you.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not that many missions the whole game, and you can mess around and do a lot of the stuff to earn other gear, which upgrades your character and makes you stronger.
Yeah, and also like you can change the costumes and all that stuff too.
You have to unlock them.
Unlock them.
You
Yeah.
get I think you get like 3,
Okay.
but they're not super different.
Right.
The ones you want are the ones you have to unlock by either paying
Yeah.
or filling out your challenge cards by doing missions. But to do that, just so you know,
Mhm.
I think I did the math right on it. There's daily missions and there's weekly missions that you can complete to earn points in your challenge card. If you miss that day, sorry, you can earn 3 points for every daily mission and 11 points for every weekly. Meaning, if I'm doing my math right, you can earn 28 points
Okay.
a day. Or, I'm sorry, 6 points a day and 7 so 42, 63 points a week.
Okay.
Which means in something like 3.5 weeks, you can get enough points to fill out the whole challenge card.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny that it's about 3.5 weeks because that's awful.
It does seem strange that they do have it that way.
But
Yeah.
I guess the theory is most people will have at least 1 or 2 of their characters filled out for November when Hawkeye comes out.
Right. The Hawkeyes.
I don't think they come out at the same time.
No, they're not doing Kate and.
They are doing
Clint?
both, but I don't think they're both at the same time.
Okay.
That would be 2 characters. And it'll take. They want this to last. And also, you know what else about Avengers?
Right.
It upgrades for free.
It does.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah. Also, well, this is just like in a story thing. So at the end, you beat the bad guy. You beat the giant robot because Miss Marvel gets all big, and then they give a little cutscene, like a little, like the typical Marvel thing, which is like they show the Sentry shooting off after the robot's been like skewered on a bridge. It shoots off a little probe, and that is probably, if they do another Avengers game, or if they do this as DLC, it'll probably be like the Kree invasion, or something like that, or Kree Skrull War, which would be interesting too. I don't know how they would exactly do it.
I don't think it's going to be DLC. I think they're going to add to the story.
Okay.
And bring in the characters that way.
All right. Because then if they do that, they could add Captain Marvel and all that stuff.
I don't know why they didn't write it at launch. There's a poster of her in Miss Marvel's room.
Which is funny to me, because then I'm like, well, because that's where the name Miss Marvel comes from. Miss Marvel was Captain Marvel's original name, because this goes into the comic book stuff, but she got her powers from the male version of Captain Marvel by, I think, accident. And then when he dies, she takes over that name as Captain Marvel.
Now that I think about it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they ever call her Miss Marvel in the game.
They don't call her Miss Marvel?
They call her Kamala Khan.
That's funny.
So maybe she doesn't have that name yet.
That could be.
But, the marketing had that name, but I don't know.
Yeah.
She wears outfits with like a little lightning bolt logo, but
That's the Miss Marvel lightning bolt.
One of the outfits I just unlocked is like her. It's like her challenge card, when you fill it out, is like fan outfits. It's really weird. It's her in like, I guess, blue pants and a shirt, and each shirt represents another one of the heroes. Like, so I just got the Iron Man one, so it's her in a red shirt with an arc reactor logo in the center.
Oh, okay.
It's whatever. Like, they're not huge differences. But then eventually you get, like, her cool outfit at the end.
Yeah.
But you have to do 3.5 weeks of grinding in the game.
Grinding to get to that. But it is kind of like, that is kind of like part of her character, which is that she is a huge fan of the Avengers, of superheroes. She writes the fan fictions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're a kid in a superhero world, I mean, you probably would be fans of, like, these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's fans of them here. So why not in their actual world?
Society hates them after A-Day.
Yeah, that's right. But she doesn't.
She's, like, the only one who doesn't. As a matter of fact, some of the other Inhumans don't like them. Most of them don't.
The Avengers. Mm-hmm. Right. Which is strange that's how they're introducing Inhumans in that way. It's not like that's kind of like they're taking their own continuity because the Inhumans have existed, unless they're bringing that part of it in where it's like the Terrigen Mist, the crystals were stolen from them, because that's how they make Inhumans.
Well, the Terrigen crystals create them in this explosion in this game,
right?
So,
and that's how it kind of happens with Miss Marvel. I forget if it's Black Bolt does it, like, which is like their king.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're a secret society. They've existed like just outside of ours, like hidden. And then at one point, there's something where I forget, it was like something to do with Thanos, and like they're in a fight. But Black Bolt decides to release the Terrigen Mist over the entire planet, and apparently to make more new Inhumans. So I don't know if they're going to go with that aspect of it, or if it's like they're not going to include the Inhumans at all, or it's just going to be like the Inhumans are just their own thing. They're just like, these crystals were here, and blah, blah, blah.
We shall see.
Yeah.
I don't even know, how many other characters they're doing. I know they're doing 3 so far, or 4.
And it's going to be the Hawkeyes,
Spider-Man on PS4 only.
Yeah.
Or PS5 and PS4.
Right. And then, what is it?
Black Panther.
Black Panther. Okay.
Hank Pym is in the game.
Yeah.
but
not playable.
No.
Okay.
There's a bunch of characters that just kind of are there.
Who else shows up? I'm trying to think.
Dum Dum Dugan's in like a random.
Okay.
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill, of course, because of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Nick Fury. He might be dead. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
He does his own thing.
He looks different. He has hair.
Okay.
It's weird to me that he does. I don't know. There's more, I'm sure. It's whatever. Anyway, it's a good game. The story, at least. I gotta mess around with the multiplayer. I only had just finished it yesterday.
Oh, yeah, wow. That's awesome. So, is the multiplayer any good? Have you?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically missions. I did one, but I'm trying to do it with a group, so I have to wait for them to catch up.
Oh, okay. All right. And you've actually been going out and watching a few things.
I did, yeah.
Do you want to briefly, without spoilers, talk about Tenet?
Sure.
Because I don't think
I can.
I don't think anybody's really seen it yet.
I don't know. It made, I think, like $30 million first weekend.
Yeah, but I'm betting they really wanted that to make probably $100 million or more.
I know it released overseas,
right?
Like in Europe and all, a month ago or something.
And it seems to be well received over there too. So
yeah, it's good. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan,
right?
So it's going to be. I was explaining it earlier to Tim, but essentially, it's one of those movies like Inception. Although Inception, I think, explains it faster.
Right.
But Memento, another one of his, when you're watching it and you just suddenly, like, there's going to be a point, maybe, Memento probably faster too, but they don't explain it.
Right.
Where it just clicks.
Right.
And you understand, because they explain it a bit, but then you see it happening, for me, and that's how I understood it better, because I can't even explain it well.
Yeah. Even Interstellar kind of had that.
No, yeah. I've never seen it.
No?
Never.
It's an interesting movie, but like with all things, like I've always kind of like Christopher Nolan does pretty good stories, but I think the bigger thing is just the visuals in it. Like the visuals in Interstellar are some of the best like stuff of space you could possibly see. I mean, it's amazing what they did.
Well, he has all the money in the world after like the Batman films.
I'm sure,
and nobody's gonna mess with him. So, I would be surprised if he doesn't have a piece of Legendary now.
Oh, you think?
I mean, all his stuff is Legendary. Like he doesn't stray from Warner Brothers Legendary. Maybe.
All right.
But yeah, it's just it's great action, amazing set pieces, good acting.
Yeah.
And it convinced me that Robert Pattinson might be able to play a tough guy well. I still don't know if he's got the build for Batman.
I don't know. We'll find out.
But I think it's his first tough guy role. Watched him die in a Harry Potter thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't very tough, though.
Yeah. He wasn't tough. Well, he was also a lot younger. And, I don't know, like The Lighthouse.
Wasn't tough, though.
I wouldn't say... But you know what? There was some parts in there where he's like he's... You can see he's got some, like, musculature. Like, he's got, like he's supposed to be a sailor and that. So it's kind of like that kind of build to him.
Yeah, this, like, he doesn't... He's in a suit, I think, the entire time. Except for one other time he's in a different outfit. But, yeah, he just looks like a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
They talked about him at one point. When they talked about, Daniel Craig retiring.
Okay.
They had talked about him, and I was like, no way. But
taking over his Bond.
Yeah. I actually would find that to work.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think he could pull up James Bond. As a matter of fact, I probably think he looks more like a James Bond than a Batman. He looks like a Bruce Wayne now.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, that last trailer looked good. I actually was... It really just depends on, like, the rest of the movie, how that comes out. I'm actually very excited to see it.
Yeah.
When they finish filming.
Whenever that is.
Who knows? Like, it's tough. But you said he does a great job in this.
He does a great job. The main guy does a great job. Kenneth Branagh, of course.
Right.
I don't think he ever acts badly, except for in one film.
Okay.
That was Wild Wild West.
Yeah, that is a weird film on many levels and for many reasons that we can't really get into. But that was a weird film. It made a lot of money, but weird.
Did it?
I think it made decent money. I don't think that was the upward trajectory of Will Smith's stuff.
See, I think it was the first one where they said even Will Smith can't save this, because it was like Men in Black. Men in Black 2 was and then they were like Wild Wild West, and he's like, I got this. And Independence Day even before that, he was summer blockbuster man.
He was Bad Boys. Bad Boys 2?
Bad Boys 2, definitely. I think Bad Boys 1 might not have made as much money.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they were both doing great. Him and Martin Lawrence.
I know, but I think Bad Boys 2 was the biggest.
That was the biggest one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then Bad Boys 3 didn't make much money, but was really good. So you should see it.
Yeah.
That's a me thing, though.
Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah, that's right.
I heard that. I think they're going to do another one.
That'd be cool. I'd watch another one.
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence should get in better shape.
Oh.
It looked like they called him and he was like, alright, I'll do it. It's either this or Big Mama's House 4.
Did they make a third one?
Probably.
I don't know.
I'm sure they did. There's a straight-to-video sequel with
maybe
Martin Lawrence's third cousin. It's like Lawrence Martin.
All right. But but Will Smith was huge. I think because also that soundtrack did huge. That was a huge thing for them too.
I don't know though. I feel like it bombed critically.
Critically, but I'm thinking it made I think this is. I mean, not that the internet wasn't around, but this is before internet instantly could you love or hate kind of thing. So I think it was just people didn't realize it was bad yet. They didn't see the giant mechanical spider yet.
I feel like that spider was in the trailers.
I don't know now. I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I don't think that they say that. I think for just the movie.
What a bad movie. You know what? You think about it and you're like, man, that movie got made and then nobody said stop it.
Well, they did. They did make another one.
But they kind of did. How did Jonah Hex get made?
I have no idea how that got made. Because that was so bad.
That's very close.
I think even Josh Brolin is I'm sorry I made that movie.
Do you think Megan Fox is mad at it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
So?
Because she was that outfit was worse than the stuff I had to wear in Transformers.
I don't remember what she wore in it.
It was a ridiculous costume. I was just this is bad. It's all bad.
I just remember seeing Will Arnett in it for 30 seconds and thinking, Will Arnett, why are you in this?
I don't even remember him at all.
He's in it. He's in a scene talking to the president, and then he's gone forever.
Okay.
He's not. And it was peak Will Arnett.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if you think about the timeline, it was just after Arrested Development, but I think before Let's Go to Prison and all.
Okay.
He was big.
Oh, he's still big.
Yeah.
Lego Batman.
I know he's Lego Batman, but he's big in voice work right now. But I'm saying his face was everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it was him, and it was a dynamic duo. Because you also had Amy Poehler on Parks and Rec, but I think she was just coming off Saturday Night Live, being massive on there.
Mm.
For what's her name? She was. Oh my God! It was her and Tina Fey always working together, but they did Politicians. Who did she play again?
Oh, Sarah Palin?
Well, Tina Fey was Palin.
Yeah.
Who's she? Was she Clinton? She might have been.
I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah. Anyway, but she was massive. Almost every skit, it was her and Kristen Wiig.
Oh yeah.
Well, anyway, I got off on a tangent there.
But
Tenet was good.
Tenet you would recommend, and you also saw the New Mutants movie.
I did. The New Mutants movie shouldn't have been delayed for 3 years.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I mean, I know why, just because of the Fox deal, all that stuff. Do you think that they should have just released it on demand, like VOD, just put it on Disney Plus, that kind of thing?
No.
No.
I don't. I'm not a big fan of that to begin with, but I also think on demand would have killed this because there was so much. If you pay attention to movies, like I saw a trailer for this movie 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Like
I was excited.
remember seeing the trailer.
Oh yeah, I was like, it looked great. I was like, oh, a scary movie version of the X-Men. That's perfect. And this is like the perfect like material for that, like the New Mutants.
Yeah, and it works as that. But I feel like if people see a horror movie advertised 3 years ago, and then they see it at a $30 premium now on Disney Plus, they're not going to pay for it.
No.
And in a world where there's so many options for content at home, for free, you can't. And it's a good movie. It's decent. It is not $30 movie. So if they'd have done that, I think it would have been put out to pasture. Like it would have died. I think it'll make more money this way.
Right.
And then they can do it later on, like $5.99 on demand or whatever.
Yeah. Or they're gonna I imagine they're just gonna put it on Disney Plus at one point.
I don't know. At some point, yeah. But I think they'll try regular on demand first. Cause I still think they can at a reasonable price.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna have that stigma forever.
Yeah.
Any movie that gets delayed like that, except for one. There's only one movie I can think of that ever became massive after a huge delay.
Which was?
Taken.
The first Taken?
The first Taken was shelved for like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then think about Taken. Like, who would shelve that?
Nobody, because that movie is amazing.
Because if you look at it, that was the same girl that was in Lost, playing his daughter.
Yeah.
And she looked younger in Taken after having already been killed off on Lost.
It's true. Wow.
Yeah, it was shelved in some thing, and then one of the execs saw it, and they were like, "Why is it shelved?" And they pulled it out, advertised the heck out of it, put it out there.
Yeah, did amazing well. Did two other ones, right?
2 sequels to Taken, and it put what's his name back on the map.
Liam Neeson.
Well, Liam Neeson,
Luc Besson.
But Luc Besson, and Megaton, Olivier Megaton. I think Taken is the reason you saw an Incredible Hulk movie.
Oh, really?
For real, that's the same director as Taken 2? Maybe Taken 1? Because I think Luc Besson wrote it, but I don't know if he directed it.
Okay.
Luc Besson wrote like a million things. That's another thing. I think people just saw it was a Luc Besson thing, and they were like, oh, no. Because at the time, it was like all of his stuff he was writing, like Transporter and like all these action movies. He wrote them, and they Transporter 2... Decrease, and then 3.
But the first Transporter, I remember being good.
I liked all 3 of them.
Yeah.
But, yeah. He's hit or miss.
It's true. Lucy,
Valerian.
Oh, Valerian.
The Escape from New York ripoff.
Oh, yeah.
They had to move to space.
He got sued for that one. I think he even got sued. I mean, this is going way back, but Fifth Element he got sued for because it's kind of based off of Jodorowsky, which makes sense. It's like a French comic kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what is it? Valerian is too.
Yeah. It's clearly... I thought Fifth Element was based on Valerian.
No.
Okay.
It might take some stuff from that.
Because there's a scene in Valerian that I'm like, oh, I saw this in Fifth Element.
Right. But it's from a book called Incal, which is funny because the artist who created the comic with Jodorowsky worked on the Fifth Element. I'm pretty sure. Like he helped actually design because it's like, oh, I love that. I want that style for this movie. So I think Mobius, rest in peace. He worked on a lot of that stuff. He worked on tons and tons and tons of stuff. Just like all 80s like sci-fi stuff. Willow, like he's worked on tons of like I think George Lucas stuff and other
Makes sense.
Other companies as well. But yeah. But yeah, I think Luc Besson has gotten in trouble several times. Like you said, that the Escape from New York thing, where it's like president.
I think it was called.
Yeah, it's like a space station. The president's like daughter or something like that. And yeah, it's crazy.
They'd have put an eye patch on him, it would have been the same thing.
I heard they're going to do another Escape from New York.
Yeah, I heard that too. They've been saying that for years.
I know, but I forget who they had attached to it, and I was like, oh, maybe he could do a good job.
It was Tom Hardy.
Was it Tom Hardy?
I think it was.
I can believe it.
I don't know about Tom Hardy.
Sometimes he's great, sometimes he's bad. Venom.
I gotta see Capone.
That would be interesting to see that.
I think he was convincing in Venom. I liked him in that.
Oh yeah. He makes interesting choices. He's kind of like I don't want to say Nicolas Cage, but unpredictable.
Tom Hardy, the Nicolas Cage of the modern age.
Yes. Well, no. Nicolas Cage is the Nicolas Cage of the modern age.
Tom Hardy,
High
the
praise.
not bankrupt
High
Nicolas
praise.
Cage.
High praise.
I was in a Walmart.
With Nicolas Cage?
No, right after the pandemic got like real big.
Right.
And I headed there for something, and I forget what it was, but I was like, man, I'm bored. And I like walked to the DVD department, and I saw a section of 4 Nicolas Cage movies.
Right.
That I had never heard of.
Oh man, which one?
Grouped together. No, I don't know.
Was it like Mandy or something?
No,
or
I know Mandy.
Season of the Witch?
No, it was... Trust me.
Okay. Wow.
It was like 4 newish ones that I have never heard of. And I said to myself, man, that sucks.
Is he hurting for money again?
I guess?
I don't know.
Because I've even seen the one where he's like a lumberjack. And it's like a Joe, I think it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen. I saw the one.
I don't even know that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh man,
he's like a lumberjack, and there's a kid, and I think he's a drunk or something. Doesn't really matter. Point is, Nicolas Cage has made a lot of movies recently.
Yes,
and they're all at Walmart.
Of course.
In case you're wondering. But yeah, no, post Season of the Witch, post that one that was filmed in New Orleans after the Katrina.
Okay.
The Revenge one, which was really good with January Jones.
Okay.
And what's his name? Generic man. Generic guy from LA Confidential. Burns? Edward Burns? Not Edward Burns. The other one.
Russell Crowe?
No. The young guy. Egan. In LA Confidential. Exactly, you can't remember him. He's
Guy
Pearce. There you go. Lockout himself.
Yeah.
I
was going to go with Memento.
Too. And I think Val Kilmer was in it. I feel like I've seen him in a few movies that were filmed after Katrina in New Orleans. Because he was in Bad Lieutenant, right? As well. So
I think so. I actually have visited Nicolas Cage's grave.
He has his own grave?
In New Orleans. Yep. He has a big white pyramid grave.
Oh,
or
his national
tomb.
treasure.
Sure.
That's why.
I bet.
Illuminati.
No.
Yeah, man.
He loves Stargate.
Is that why?
No. I have no clue. It probably is that, but who knows? Weird. Just him. It's him. That's exactly what he should be doing. But
I hope it's a mausoleum.
I think it is kind of.
I don't think you want to be buried below ground.
It's not. It's all above ground. It's like a pyramid that I'd say at least 10 feet tall.
Just like Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Nicolas Cage.
He comes and visits it sometimes, I guess.
The guy who said, "Shoot him again, his soul's still dancing."
Nicolas Cage, man. I'm gonna take his face off.
He's a joy.
He is. I hope he never stops making movies.
Go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Get a new experience every time.
I still haven't seen Mandy, but I've heard that's a pretty good one too.
I heard it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Nicolas Cage film? We should.
God.
Also, if you're going to be making any comments on this video, or please let us know.
Yes, absolutely. Tell us that. What's the one with? I think Idris Elba's in it. Lord of War.
Okay, Lord of War is a great movie.
That is a great movie. Insane movie. I think Jared Leto's in that too.
He is. He plays his brother.
Yeah. It's an insane movie. Really good.
That's your favorite?
I don't know.
Mine is Drive Angry.
Drive Angry?
100%.
Really?
Every time.
Not Ghost Rider.
Not Ghost Rider.
Not Ghost Rider 2.
Nope. Drive Angry.
It's almost the same thing.
It's not. Drive Angry is so much better.
I'm sure it is.
I mean, it's shot well, Ghost Rider 2,
mm-hmm.
and it's a fun one to watch.
Right.
I feel like if they had been allowed to go R-rated, it would have been even better.
Of course.
Because it's the Crank guys. It's Neville Dean and Taylor.
Oh, yeah. And they do ridiculous movies.
They went off a cliff on a motorcycle to film that. But Drive Angry.
Right.
100% the best movie ever. With
Okay.
Nicolas Cage.
Right.
You can't top it. It's so ridiculous. Just so you guys know, if you don't understand how ridiculous this movie is, it is Nicolas Cage embodied. So, his daughter...
Right. Amber Heard, right?
No. She's not his daughter.
Oh, that's right.
She's just the girl he picks up on the way.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Just
because he's Nicolas Cage.
Of course.
He drives out of hell because his daughter has been sacrificed by a cult.
Right.
And he's mad.
Yeah.
And he wants to go kill the cult leader. So he just drives right out of hell in his car.
Of course he does.
Into the real world.
That's right.
And the guy who looks like Christopher Walken's son and played his son in Batman Returns.
Oh, okay. That guy.
Plays the guy trying to bring him back.
The guy, I think he played Leatherface at one point.
Leatherface? Did he really?
I think
that
so.
Guy?
I think he played Leatherface at one point.
Oh my gosh.
I think in one of the newer ones.
Maybe. He kind of looks like Matthew McConaughey if he was just like a touch more drugged out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to say that. He looks like Matthew McConaughey halfway through losing weight for the movie he made about AIDS with Jared Leto.
Oh man. I really can't remember it right now.
Because it was a weird name.
Is it Dallas Buyers Club?
Yes, Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. I was like, I know this name.
But that guy.
Okay.
Is trying to get him back. And then I think Wes Bentley's in it, maybe. I don't know. He might not be in it. I might be confusing with Ghost Rider.
He goes Ghost Rider. Wes Bentley's in Ghost Rider.
I know.
But who knows? He could be in there. Who knows?
It doesn't matter.
Who
Just know.
Knows.
There's a scene where Nicolas Cage is in the middle of something in a hotel room.
Right.
Not with Amber Heard. But with somebody else, an older somebody else.
Right.
And there's a shotgun battle happening while that is happening.
Because of course.
And at one point, some of his hair gets shot off, and that makes him even angrier. This movie is so over the top. I am surprised. You know what I think happened? I think the guys that made Crank pitched it to him. And
yeah.
He was like, you know what? That's too sane, man.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to build this.
We can go farther.
I'm going to get rid of the third pyramid mausoleum I was going to make just to fund this movie.
Yes.
And it's in 3D.
Oh my god.
Like, Drive Angry was shot in 3D. At a time when people were like, we're not even going to do 3D anymore.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage was like, I'm going to make 3D.
Yeah, remember that? That was like a thing for a while, 3D.
Yeah, everything was 3D. And then they had, do you know why it was a thing?
Avatar.
No.
No?
Nope. Avatar was a thing after 3D got huge again.
Yeah, but Avatar actually did it well.
Right. But, maybe it was being shot in 3D, because James Cameron takes 14.5 million years to make a movie.
Could be.
His last one, the lead actor was actually a Tyrannosaurus Rex. No, but in all seriousness, it was a thing because they started doing what they call 3D conversions.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay.
And it was because they could just make it a new microtransaction for a movie theater. So now your movie that was $12 is $16.
Yeah.
And do you know why? The best excuse I think ever. The theaters saying it. Do you know what they would always say? Why do you pay $4 more if you already have? Can I just keep my 3D glasses? No, they have to be recycled.
Right.
The reason you paid $4 more for that movie was the experience.
That's right.
No,
it's terrible.
But
and
yeah,
usually 90% of the time, it never made the movie better.
and it looked darker.
Yeah,
because of the glasses and the conversion itself.
And it kind of like it also kind of like for some people it like messes with their vision after a while. Like I remember like even like I forget what movie I think we saw something in 3D and I came out and I was like I don't know, like gave me like a headache for some weird reason.
Was it The Hobbit? Was The Hobbit one of those in 3D? Or was it Lord of the Rings?
I don't know if it was that one. Did we see Pacific Rim in 3D? No.
I don't think that was in 3D.
I forget. There was one that I remember we watched and I was like, it was just like, I don't know, it gave me a headache.
I know Clash of the Titans was in 3D.
Oh, God. Oh, those
starring
movies.
the Sam Worthington.
That's right.
You'll know him from the next episode of Where Are They Now?
That's true. Where happened to that guy?
I don't know. He was everywhere for like 3 summers.
Yeah.
I guess, you know what he's doing? Avatar.
Oh, you think he's in the next Avatar?
He was in the first one.
Yeah, but he's like a blue creature. They don't need him.
They need his voice.
Yeah, but he can do that anywhere.
They'll just revive him.
Maybe, you think he's in a motion capture suit with James Cameron?
Probably.
In a submarine?
Yeah.
Because it's underwater.
That's probably where he's been. He might have drowned and nobody's telling us.
Ugh.
You know what? Underwater is probably the safest place to be right now.
It's true. Who knows what's going on with James Cameron in Avatar Land?
I just came up with a good idea for a movie, by the way.
Oh, what's that?
Okay. It's a submarine,
Yes.
right? Somebody has COVID,
Oh, okay.
right? But it's like COVID underwater is more extreme.
Yeah.
And it turns you into the thing from The Thing.
Where you're just like the Cronenbergian, like weird creatures and.
But you can look normal.
Right.
Let's make it. Let's make this movie.
I'm surprised they haven't done a newer, or remake The Thing.
They should just remake every bad 1999 to 2001 horror film that involved a space shuttle or a submarine or a boat. Combine the film Virus with Deep Rising.
Oh my god.
And put like Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie.
Or Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, Deep Blue Sea would be another great one.
Sharks.
Sam Jackson as the virus itself in the movie Virus.
Okay. Alright. Well, we're way past when we should have stopped this. You can tell because we're just making up movies and talking about Nicolas Cage nonstop.
We should do a new podcast where we just make up bad Nicolas Cage movies.
No, what we should do is try to do watch every Nicolas Cage movie.
Some of them you probably can't even access. Like, you have to watch the newest one he's making. I heard is made by the new Samsung smartwatch, and you can only watch it on that watch. You see, you're not even sure if that's true.
I'm not sure. Like, I know you're lying to me, but I'm just like, you know what? That might be true. I could totally see that.
Anna Kendrick's on like a streaming service TV show.
Who knows?
But it's a streaming service I've never heard of, and I think
is it
you can only
Quibi?
watch it like
Quibi is weird. They wasted a lot of money and don't know how they're good. It's like 10-minute episodes or something like it's. They were like they're like trying to do like great little short stories, almost like little short film kind of things and stuff, but people really aren't going for it. Like, they've got big actors and stuff, like, people from Game of Thrones and all these other movies, and I'm just like,
Yeah, Kit Harington's in one, right?
yeah. And what's her name? The Dark Phoenix. I think she's in one that's like almost like an alive.
Famke Janssen.
No.
Xenia?
No.
Xenia on the top.
No, not Xenia on the top.
Is she not the Dark Phoenix?
Not anymore.
You have to think about it.
I know. No, what's her name?
How was she 30 years too old for the role of Phoenix at the time of that movie? Did she not seem older than everybody else in the cast of X-Men 1?
The first
How
X-Men
old
movie?
is Famke Janssen?
I don't know. I think she's an immortal.
I saw her and I was like, Patrick Stewart's younger than you.
No.
She had something going on with her face that whole movie. And then by the second movie, she looked like... I think that's why they killed her in Taken. They're just like, we can't. I don't know what's going on, man. Everybody's old.
Well, I don't know about that, but there was like I remember for a little while, and I don't know if this is necessarily connected to that, but she had like this weird stalking thing going on.
Maybe she was just stressed.
It was kind of maybe some
Was
stress
stalking,
going.
or was she stalking somebody?
No, I think she was. This is a real life thing, but I think she was like being stalked.
Nice.
It was very creepy too. I remember it was like this person was actually got into her home and left like books for her and stuff.
Books?
Yeah,
What a weird gift from a
like
stalker.
like a children's book about teddy bears or something, and like left a bear. I don't remember the whole thing, but I remember just like that whole thing. That would creep me though.
Was she being stalked by somebody who believed in the Mandela effect?
Could be.
Was it a Berenstain Bears book, or
No, it
was it
wasn't.
Berenstein Bears?
It wasn't any of the Steens or Steins or whatever.
Stains.
Beren-
It's Stain or Steen.
Okay,
What do you remember it as?
I think it was Berenstain Bears.
Apparently it was.
I don't know.
Good job. You're
Could
from
be.
this dimension.
Could be, but it wasn't that. It was like a different children's book about a teddy bear or something like that. I have no idea, but it was weird. So maybe that's why. But Quibi, we'll see. But we should start a podcast that's just like we watch all the Nicolas Cage movies in order, and it
Okay.
would probably last 100 years.
It would. There's a lot.
There's so many. Snake Eyes, great movie.
It is a great movie. I don't even... You know what's weird about Nicolas Cage movies? Most of them, you don't even know who the other people are, and I'm like, bless you.
True.
If you think about it, has there
Oh.
been a Nicolas Cage movie recently that you can think of anybody else? I know Ron Perlman's in Season of the Witch.
Yeah, which was also kind of a weird thing. I was like, what are you doing here, Ron Perlman? Well, or maybe that was just like, oh, Nicolas Cage is in this movie. I'll go for it.
You think there was a point where people were like, oh, Nicolas Cage is in this movie, I won't go for that?
Probably.
It's weird, he's so up and down.
Yeah.
You think they just want to hang out with him?
I do.
No, do you think they did?
Who?
Like,
the
whoever-
actors?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would want to hang out with Nicolas Cage. You never know what's going to happen.
When
He
did
named,
Nicolas...
he named his son Kal-El.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
When did Nicolas Cage become Gary Busey?
No, he's not Busey. He's not there yet. Because it's funny, they make fun of him on Saturday Night Live, and then he actually goes on Saturday Night Live as himself. Because I think it's like Andy Samberg makes us, like it's on the news. I forget what it is, but there's a skit where he always like plays Nicolas Cage and talks about like praise and blah blah blah, and then Nicolas Cage actually comes on as himself, and they have like a back and forth thing. So I think he's kind of in on the joke, but also I don't know if he's completely in on the joke. But gonna talk really high.
Yeah. It's cool.
But yeah, who knows? I mean, I hope he never stops making movies. Some of them are amazing. Some of them are like,
They exist.
they exist. But then he'll do things like Wicker Man, and I'm just like, oh no, not the bees! Not. I mean, that is like amazing, amazing.
Did you see the trailer for Freaky?
Yes, I have seen the trailer for Freaky. I love it. I think it's great. It's right in the whole thing with like Happy Death Day and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's perfect.
It literally, like, this guy he sees a movie when he's young,
Mhm.
and he's just like, you know what? what if it was a horror movie?
Right.
Because, I mean, this one he didn't even try. He was just like, oh, it's Freaky Friday, but it's freaky.
Yeah. Or, what was didn't they do Fantasy Island?
That wasn't him, though.
Oh, that wasn't?
No, that was a Blumhouse production. But
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking about this guy is literally the director, the writer-director of Happy Death Day.
Yeah, but didn't he do Blumhouse?
Did he do Fantasy Island? It's not Jason Blum.
No. But I'm just saying, like, Blumhouse put out Happy Death Day, right?
Yes, they produced...
And Freaky.
that studio, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jason Blum, but...
Yeah.
But he also... Like, I'm saying he's the same guy who did the Groundhog Day horror movie. Now he's doing the Freaky Friday horror movie.
Right.
But the Fantasy Island... Yeah, I guess they didn't even try and hide the name on that one.
No.
They must just have all the money.
I think they just make smart choices, and, like, they do these great little cult movies, but none... Like, Happy Death Day, I think they're going to do a third one. And, like, there's no, like, huge actors in them. Like, Vince Vaughn is in this one, but, I mean, he's not, like, huge.
He looks like he's just having a ball.
Yeah. And, like, all the... Like, can you name me any of the other actors in it? Like, even the main...
No.
The girl, I was like, I kind of remember from stuff, but I don't think she's in anything huge.
They're all super young in that.
Yeah. So who knows? Yeah. All right, but to tie things up here, you can find me, or find me on the Instagrams at Tim Martinek. You can find Bob.
I'm on Twitter at Martin, MARTON _Bob, and I'm on Instagram at Bob J. Martin.
Okay. I think that's right.
Yeah, I think so too.
And you can find us, of course, on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, and the YouTubes.
Yeah, and please tell us what your favorite Nicolas Cage movie is.
I would love to hear.
I'd go with Y as well.
Okay. Weatherman.
Weatherman was pretty good.
It's a good movie.
But it's too close to Lord of War. Lord of War is definitely one of his top dramas.
Oh, yeah. Weatherman is kind of like a weird, dark comedy,
Oh, yeah.
but still good.
It had like a weird attachment. Was it Gore Verbinski that directed it? I think he came off Pirates in the Ring and he was like, Nicolas Cage, Michael Caine, let's do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's make awkward jokes about kids. Because if you remember, his daughter had a nickname.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And you're just like, what? But I guess it's similar to Netflix, so.
Right. I forget what I was going to say. But yeah, Nicolas Cage. I hope he never stops making movies. And maybe we should start a podcast about him.
Cagecast.
Cagecast. I'd be surprised if there isn't like 100 Cage casts or like something like that. But we'll see you next week, guys. We'll have more stuff to talk about, news, reviews, and whatever else comes up. Whatever else comes up. Wow,
Yeah.
wow, I ended that horribly. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. To do a little redesigning with us, you can find Bob at Martin MARTON _BOB on Twitter, and you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinek, all one word, TIMMARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists like doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it Precarious Pixels and we'll find it as well.